Something that my mentor has told me is like, how blessed are you to be exhausted by chasing the life of your own choosing?
What do you think you could do now, or what have you implemented to like start celebrating the small wins?
Just like repeating to myself, like, yo, this is like taking a deep breath and be like, wow, we accomplished something. Every time we finish the season, I'm like, damn, we did something.
Yeah. Nothing really happens overnight, you know?
No.
It's an accumulation of habits and small details, which will then, you know, show over time.
There's going to be days where it gets hard, where you're like, damn, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I don't want to put another podcast episode out. No one's clapping for us. Where's this big ass brand deal? Where's the Netflix deal coming through? Like, yo, believe me, we all want this. We all want the big win.
I challenge our audience too, you know, celebrate a win that no one sees, you know, and I think define who you want to be when no one's looking.
Let's flat out. Big teams, big boys, right? My highs and lows inherit growth, Mr. Deeds. Went from juggling 3 jobs to CEO like I'm Steve. Never been a rotten apple, call me John Appleseed. That's how I bleed. God can see no other man can judge me. Call him Mike, Mr. International, getting cream. Single mother told me worth, and now I'm worth everything. Went from Wall Street to Abu Dhabi, straight rolling in a Maserati with women that feel exotic. My life too prestige.
Man, you didn't have to do them like that, man. You didn't have to do them like that.
It was film day.
Yeah.
We gotta make a statement.
Exactly. We gotta make a statement.
What's going on, man?
Flat out.
Welcome back to the Last Fight Out podcast. We're your hosts, Mike and Jay. Hit that like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And give us a follow across all of our social media channels where we can be found at Last Fight Out Podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Jay. You can find me at JLubrio26 across all of my socials. And you can follow Mike at...
If Mike was here.
So, Mike, why you don't give the audience a little precursor as to what the episode is about today?
Do you ever realize you were living in a dream that you once prayed for, but then didn't take the time to notice?
I mean, it happens all the time. I think I'm in it right now, right?
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. And I think that just to sort of like preview everything, everyone's chasing that big break. But like Mike said, what if you're already in it, right? And you're too distracted to sort of realize it. And this episode kind of unpacks that success doesn't always really come in that big explosive moment. Sometimes it's subtle, right? And sometimes you've already arrived, but imposter syndrome and constant comparison won't let you see it. And something that my mentor has told me is like, how blessed are you to be exhausted by chasing the life of your own choosing, right? And that's exactly what we're doing here, right? By building the podcast, by us continuing our careers, by us still being able to travel to great places in between. It may be all exhausting, but we're kind of controlling this. We're putting this on ourselves, right? Yeah. And we've kind of been sold this idea that success is this single explosive moment, right? A check, a viral post, a big announcement, what may have you. But the problem is when your mind is sort of programmed to sort of wait for the fireworks and the confetti, you miss that slow, quiet arrival of the life that you've always been wanting to work for, right? So, but the reality is making it, you could be already in it and you don't even realize it because the milestone doesn't look exactly what you imagined it to be, right? Whether it's that big billboard outside Times Square or some sort of big announcement on the internet. So I think the illusion of you constantly having to chase for that big fireworks distracts you from the appreciation of you actually being like, well, let me appreciate the ground that I'm standing on, and feeling that you're there, but you're sort of like missing this sort of like, oh man, where's this? I want all these people to be clapping, right? Like, and that doesn't necessarily happen all the time.
I think a lot of times we're programmed to want to get that acknowledgement, want to get that clout or that fame, you know? Yeah. And I guess if it isn't recognized, it didn't happen, or it's not really worthy of anything of what we deem success is.
I mean, look, I think I've been doing a lot of TikToks lately. So like, for example, like one thing I dedicated to, or I'm dedicating to, is like posting at least one piece of content on TikTok every single day, not just to see what consistency will look like on that platform and to see what things I can tweak. Yeah. And the one thing I've sort of like realized that people gravitate towards just like watching other videos is that once somebody goes viral, they will then take that viral moment and then like try to monetize it because they know that other people are desperate, because that is like an explosive moment, right? Yeah. And I think a lot of people then get desperate, which is the reason why people fall for get rich quick schemes, right? Like, oh, here's the shortcut that you can get to make viral. Look, nobody knows the algorithm. Nobody knows. There's not a singular formula to become successful. And I tell people all the time, like, sometimes it's just not your time. But I think that when people are like, oh man, I'm not there yet, they sort of like feel less than, and then they quit before they can even win.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, like, or I tell my mentees or people who are doing it just in law, like, look, just because you didn't get the greatest LSAT score doesn't mean that you can't win, right? You can use this as an opportunity to sort of learn, refine yourself, and revolve, right? But I think that everybody just kind of wants that one shot, one hit, a quitter, just to sort of like get there in the least amount of time without actually working for it. But imagine like we had blown up like after our first episode. What can we really talk about?
We would have thought it was easy.
It's like, oh,
why
why
everybody isn't doing that? Yeah.
We're like, after season 1, 10 episodes, how to blow up on a podcast, right? Like, so I think there's something to say, and I think you said something interesting, like off camera or on the camera, one of the last episodes, like, what does consistency look like in this platform before like you decide to call it quits, right?
Yeah.
And then, but then even taking it more prematurely before that, what are your intentions of getting into something? Are you just doing it to get viral? If you're doing it just to get viral and you don't become viral, then you're going to easily quit. But if you're doing it because you're like, this is actually something I'm passionate about, then you're going to wait it out, whether that, explosive moment comes or not.
Yeah.
And I think that social media is also glamorized and romanticized that explosive moment, which has really killed the process of you wanting to get better.
I think too, when we look at it, it's a lot of times we are seeing the successes of what we put out in front of us, but I guess it's, we constantly move the goalposts,
right? Right. Like, for example, like let's take our podcast, right? Are there things that we stressed about 2 years ago that we no longer stress out about? Like there's a lot of things, right? There's a few things, right? Yeah. We didn't know how to put an episode together.
Yeah.
Like what goes into putting a full length produced episode before. So you can look at that as a win. Me and Mike know the process from start to finish. Now we could use now we're still learning how to build a team. So if anyone, shout out for the 4th season in a row. If anybody wants to come and edit some episodes for us and help us on that next stage, please.
Managers,
PR, please let us know. Open applications at all times. But they're not even relevant now, right? Like now we're to the next phase. How do we scale this? How do we get more eyes on it, right? From a marketing standpoint, from an advertising standpoint, building our brand, building our platform, right?
Yeah.
Those are the things we're stressed about now. We're not really stressed about the logistics or the administration or like the administrative tasks of like setting up a podcast or shooting an episode or what have you. But I think that is part of the life that you want to live, because eventually, like, I would love to do this full time. That'd be great and amazing. But again, this is on the road towards there. So this is something that I am living part of the reality that I set out for myself a few years ago when I said I wanted to have a platform whereby I reached more people that I can actually reach out with my physical arms and I can actually inspire and create an impact. So sometimes I have to remind myself of that.
Very true. Very true. Very true. And I think what Instagram or Hollywood, social media, what it does to us is it romanticizes the grind culture. So I feel like if we're not grinding, we're not being successful or, pushing the pavement constantly. And it's like a lot of times, sometimes I get reminders from, people close to me like, wow, you're still doing this. Like you guys are putting out great content, great job. And I think sometimes we're probably harder on ourselves than anyone else.
I mean, yeah, because we want to put even more content out, already limited ass schedule that we have, right? So like, imagine like we're separated by like 3 continents, a 14-hour flight. Yeah. And people are like, yo, we want even more content. It's like, damn, like now we got to try to do the digital stuff, try to get that. I'll get my arm. Don't worry about it. My arm is on the way. But I think we forget to think about like where we were. It took us like 9 months just to get even the platform off the stage. Like we started talking in the beginning of 2023 and that thing didn't come out till October, right? Yeah. Like, so like just that whole planning process and to do it correctly, to do it like this so we can bring you high quality content. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to watch something that I would watch myself. Yeah. So it was important to me for me to replicate and be a mirror of the types of content that I already watch. But more importantly, back to your point about grind culture, I used to be a real victim of grind culture. I used to think like, if I'm not grinding 24/7, then I'm not being productive. Therefore, I'm not going towards my dream. Therefore, I'm being lazy. That's not really true, because if you keep grinding,
I'm burn out.
you're going to burn out. Now, you may need to extend yourself and stretch yourself in certain moments, for sure. Absolutely. That has to happen all the time, because you can't have like a balance at all parts of your life. You're trying to reach something extraordinary, but like this whole notion of like no rest, no breaks, that doesn't exist. That's not healthy. Right. And also, you have to, if you're grinding, something that my therapist told me, what's your North Star? If you have no direction in your grind, it's kind of wasted effort. You might as well not be doing anything, because if you're just grinding for the sake of grinding, you're not really getting anywhere, right? So you have to grind with intention and with alignment and with purpose. And that's something I've been preaching on my own sort of like individual TikTok platform. And I think that's really resonated with people, because especially amongst Gen Z, they've been like, what are we grinding for? There's no hope. We can't buy houses. We broke. There's no jobs. Like, inflation sucks. Eggs are $17. But I tell them like, yo, what is it that you want out of life? Right.
Yeah.
We're even on a micro, like at a micro level, like what is it that you want today out of life?
Yeah.
And then pursue it from that standpoint.
Do you also feel like in the industry that you've been in, or just in general in school, that it's more so, us two being men of color, Black and Latino, that good or just average is never good enough, Like, we have to go beyond, above and beyond. So even, at first, like, I guess my first thoughts of success was graduating college.
Mm-hmm.
I was the first one of my siblings to graduate college. So at first I'm like, oh, I made it. That's it. Like, we said,
we find that
that's common nowadays, and that's a good thing. It's common nowadays, but it's like, you got to keep pushing. That's never just enough. It's just like you're just scraping the surface with a bachelor's degree.
Oh, now a bachelor's degree now is like,
it's like high school degree, high school
right? Like, you need more than that nowadays. But back to your question about like being a person of color and having to like grind twice as hard just to get half as far. I mean, do you want to talk about my thoughts or the practical realities that I've seen? The practical reality is, as a person of color, you probably have to grind 2-3 times harder than your non-person of color counterpart in order to get to the same place, right? And everyone's going to say, no, it's an equal platform, it's an equal footing. And yes, it may be like that on the surface, but think about the connections and the decision makers. Who do they look like? Yeah. Who are they going to have an unconscious bias towards, right? People who look like them.
Yeah.
When you are in a function, who else are you going to gravitate to naturally?
Yeah, someone
right? Somebody who looks like me, right? Because I'm going to think there's something, and you're going to find that there's something in common there. And it's like the most biggest disappointment when you don't connect with them. You're like,
that's the worst.
Damn.
That's the worst.
They're out. But no, like it's absolutely true. You can't run away from it. But that's already been ingrained from us, at least for me, because I was a first generation immigrant, and it's just immigrant mentality. You got to work. You got to see. Like, I want to challenge this a little bit though. I think the immigrant mentality, I could speak about this, they speak from a floor perspective. They want you to like have a safe, secure floor. Go to school.
Yeah.
Be a doctor, be a lawyer, be an engineer, something safe.
Yeah.
Because we sacrifice so much to get to this country. We don't want our investment, i.e. you, to flop. Right?
You gotta
make it because like, yo, however you got to this country, like, shout out to all the people that come here and work hard. But right? They don't really talk about like, yo, go start your own business, be an entrepreneur. That's risky.
Yeah.
That can, right? Like, so I think us being the children of those immigrants and coming here and having stable careers, we're allowed to give our children the go chase your dreams, obviously with parameters and with sound decision making.
Yeah.
Right? But go, if you want to be an entrepreneur, go be an entrepreneur. School is not the only way.
Yeah, of course.
Like, if you don't like school, at least finish high school, at least finish college, right? Like, at least finish college, you never have to go to school ever again. But if you don't like going to school, what else do you like doing? And I sort of like face that within my own family, where there's people who are like, I don't like school, but I don't really like doing anything else. So
yeah,
what is it that you like doing?
Yeah.
Right?
But also, I guess, I'm sure when you have your future family, it's something where even before they get to that point, they would have had opportunities to explore many different avenues, different interests, so they can then make that decision of, oh, I don't like school, but I can do this.
Right.
Where sometimes if you don't have that exposure, you don't even know what you want to do or who you want to be, but you're like, I know for sure I don't like school. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Like I liked school. Like school was, I loved it, but I was like kind of done after law school for sure. And I was like, all right, now it's time for me to go be like a practical human functioning person in the world. There's some people who just like pile up degrees, bro.
Yeah.
They're afraid to be, they have like MBAs, JDs, MSs, MAs, MPPs. I'm like, damn, like when you going to go out there and get some real life experience, when are you going to put this to use? But I think those are people who like to be in comfortable, right? And just to like top off this point, I think that intertwined with all that and something that you said earlier about ground culture, right? I think there's a danger to moving the goalposts if you're an ambitious person.
Yeah.
Because once you and I do this often myself, I'll reach a finish line. Okay, you know, this is the example I like to give. Imagine you're walking down the street. You know, when you're walking down the street, you see the if you keep your head straight, you'll see the tiles of the sidewalk in front of you.
Yeah.
And you could point to one that's like half the block down and be like, that's my destination. How does your head, if you keep your head up like this, right? Your head is naturally going to go down and then up as you approach it.
Yeah.
Instead of you actually being like acknowledging and like relishing the moment when you reach that initial point where you're like, that's my final destination. What I naturally do is look my head up and already look for the next point and not enjoy me finishing the crossing line of that initial point of destination that I wanted to get to.
Yeah.
And I think that ambition is healthy, but unchecked, it can really become a trap to convince you that nothing's ever enough.
Yeah.
And I was like in that mode in my early 20s and even in my late 20s too. And even as recently as like a couple years ago of being like, wow, nothing's ever going to be enough, right? When's anything going to be enough? And I think that has robbed me of me celebrating all my successes. Like I went to one of my mentees' college graduation and seeing how happy she was kind of brought me back to when I was finishing college. I didn't even want to go to my graduation. So
Oh, really?
Bro, I was like, the job ain't done. The job ain't done. I'm still going to law school.
You was acting like the
Kobe.
traffic to the league. You know?
I was like, the job ain't done. And I got honors and everything. Like I Latin honors, Dean's List, all that. I didn't want to go. I told my mom and my dad, I was like, why are we going to this? This is not the real one.
Is this pressure that you put on yourself?
Pressure I put on myself. It's not my parents. My parents wanted to go celebrate, do the hoopla. My son's graduating or whatever. But I was like, damn, man, I really, really didn't enjoy that time. So now, me being the older person with experience, I'm telling this person, like, enjoy every single moment because these moments are fleeting and they will never come back.
Yeah.
I'm never, unless I go back to school, I'm never having a graduation, right? But like, and I enjoyed the law school graduation one, but again, it was a sort of like I did what I was supposed to do. It was more like I did what I was supposed to do. Like I was supposed to get good grades. I was supposed to get a job offer at an elite law firm. Like this is the things that we're supposed to do instead of saying like I worked my ass off. I deserve this, man. I'm gonna enjoy this win because so few people get this opportunity. Instead of me being like, this is something I should have done. Like, you see the difference in how you express that?
Yeah.
And it sort of like changed the chemicals in my mind to be like, damn, like I'm not really enjoying this. And then it also affects other aspects of your life, interpersonal relationships, your relationship with your girl, your relationship with your family, your relationship with yourself. Sort of like thinking like, when am I gonna, if I don't get excited about this, about myself, how am I going to get excited about another person?
Yeah.
Right? Like, so.
What do you think you could do now, or what have you implemented to like start celebrating the small wins?
Just like repeating to myself, like, yo, this is like taking a deep breath and be like, wow, we accomplished something. Every time we finish the season, I'm like, damn, we did something.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're getting closer to that hundo.
For real.
The 100 is the 100 episodes is my main goal right now. I want to get to 100 in studio episodes before I can complain.
Yeah.
Because remember, they say you can't complain before you get to 100.
So 100, yeah.
Right? So I'm going to keep it here and then we can go there. But like for right now, just tell myself like, damn, every season that we do is a blessing. Every destination that we go to, every podcast guest that we've had is like, damn, it's a win. I don't care if nobody knows them. I don't care if there's some haters that we got out there, but like, who knows this person? I'm like, I don't care. That person wants to come and sit down and give me an hour of their time for free. To talk about their story, right? So everyone's doing it for the love, and that's what we're focused on. And every comment that we get is like, damn, this is a win, right? And yeah, episodes are gonna flop. I don't really care about that. Content's gonna flop, but we're gonna celebrate the ones that actually get lit. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is great, right?
Yep.
So what are some of the things that you do?
I started implementing this quote. It's like, I guess people say don't sweat the small things. But I think you have to sweat the small things because even if you put it towards, you know, a negative aspect or a positive aspect, nothing really happens overnight, you know?
No.
It's an accumulation of habits and small details, which will then, you know, show over time. So it's, you know, just creating discipline in myself and like, okay, I'm going to wake up 5 a.m. in the morning. I'm going to meditate. Then I'm going to spend 20 or 30 minutes on like a topic that I want to learn about. Then work out, you know. It's not going to be overnight that I'm like, oh, I'm an expert and I'm fit.
Right.
But it's like over a course of 3 months, 6 months, it's like, okay, now this is second nature. Like this is part of my life. And it's like, wow, now, you know, the discipline is there. You know?
I mean, look, man, to his credit, Mike's wearing crop shirts now. Because of all the discipline that he has in the gym, right? So that should show you something, right? Hopefully, I can get to a point where I can start wearing crop shirts, right? So, but look, on a serious note, for sure, like I've even noticed it myself, man. Shout out to you for introducing me to Barry's, because now it is, if I don't go to Barry's or to get some sort of like tough workout like that, I feel like that's how I censor myself every day.
Yeah,
that is the hardest thing I'm going to do today.
Yeah.
Running on a 9 incline at 8 miles or 9 miles an hour ain't nothing tougher than that, right? So if I can get through that mental fortitude and that mental check each and every day, I feel grounded with everything else.
Yeah.
And I feel like you have to have something like the Inception movie, like that dreidel that keeps you like, all right, am I in reality or am I in the Inception right now, right? Because there's going to be days where it gets tough. There's going to be days where it gets hard, where you're like, damn, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I don't want to put another podcast episode out. No one's clapping for us. Where's this big ass brand deal? Where's the Netflix deal coming through? Like, yo, we believe me, we all want this. We all want the big win, but it, like, life has a strange way of testing you, like right before you're meant to get your blessing, right? So I think the harder it is, the closer you are.
Yeah.
Right? Because in the beginning, everything sounds fun, it's exciting, it's new, blah, 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 this and that, whatever. But you have to constantly keep reinventing yourself, right? And as you're doing this. And like, there's times where, shit, like even us doing this podcast this season was like, we may have to go not a break, but like a hiatus for like a couple of weeks. Me and Michael getting jabbed from all sides, like, God, yeah. Body blow after body blow. Oh, this episode doesn't exist. Oh, this episode got encrypted wrong. I'm like, what?
It's probably the toughest season that we did to bring everything together.
It was not smooth, man. It was not smooth. But putting it back on what I just said, why no one's clapping when you're like quietly like progressing? Like, the hardest part about growth is that it's quiet, right? It's invisible.
Mm-hmm.
When as you're getting more and more fit, right? Like you don't notice every night that you go from having a gut to a flat stomach, right?
No.
Like, it happens gradually.
Yeah.
One day you will wake up like, oh, these pants fit better now. That's what be happening to me. Sometimes I put pants on sometimes I'll be buying pants slightly smaller, and then I hope like 3 months later I could fit in them, and I'm like, damn, I did something good. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool. But imagine you kept putting those pants on every day, and you're like, damn, this is not getting any smaller. You may be giving up, like, this is not working, instead of you saying like, you know, I'm gonna go in the lab and I'm gonna check in with myself a few weeks down the road, a couple months down the road, right? And people are real fickle. That's what I've noticed about this journey. Like, it's strangers that are gonna give you more love than you're actually like, sometimes you're the closest people around you, and that kind of sucks, but it's always been like that since the beginning.
It's always when someone's close to it. Sometimes it's when people are too close to you, they can't really see like the changes that you're making, the new person that you're becoming. And I think that's whatever.
Right. And just because no one's watching doesn't mean it's not real. Just sometimes they're not clapping out loud, but they watching. Sometimes they clap. You know what I do? I think I told you this off camera. I can't forget I told you at the end of the last season. So, you know, I still follow certain people from someone that I'm no longer with, right? Whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's because I mess with their creativity. Like, I like their creativity. I generally like them as creatives. Like, so that's the reason why I keep following. Plus, also, I'm not into this whole like mass unfollowing. That's a topic for another discussion. But like, I'm not into mass unfollowing people. Like, I'm not into that. Like, I'm built differently. Like, I'm okay with seeing somebody's.
Me too.
Like, it doesn't really affect me. Like, it doesn't really, like, some people just need 0 dark 30. But anyway, I'm sidebarring right now. And something I would always do, and I promise myself, is I don't want to be a hypocrite. I want support with my platform. Therefore, I'm going to support them in their platform. To the point,
regardless,
where they think it's weird when I do it.
Yeah.
They're like, why? One person's actually asked me, like, why did you repost my stuff?
Oh, okay, for real.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm sorry if I liked it. Like,
But it's because they're not cool anymore, or what?
It's only because I'm no longer.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
okay.
Like, why'd you do that?
Yeah.
I was like, wow, like, you're welcome. Number one, let's start with you're welcome. And also, last I remember, you and me don't have beef. Now, you and me have beef, let me know, and I'll take out the repost. But I just think it was such a weird thing for them because it was like, damn, this person's mad close. Like, I don't expect this. If I'm still following you, doesn't that mean I like the things that you post?
Yeah. I think so. I think what happens there is some people just support, and that's what I call kind of fake support.
Oh, it's fake support. You have rental friends. Rental friends. They're called rental supporters.
Like, they're going to support because this person's associated with you.
That's it.
And so for the time being, it's good to support.
Yeah. They'll comment on everything, like everything, and then all of a sudden something stopped. Like, so did you only like it because I was associated with this person, or did you like it irrespective of that relationship, right? But I just think that people also, in general, find it weird. Right? Find it weird. They find the support weird. And I'm just like, all right, I don't know why you find the support weird, because if I'm reposting your story, it's going to reach an audience that you didn't have access to before. And it doesn't cost me anything.
Yeah.
It cost me $0 to do that. Like, I will always stand by this. I don't care if I have 100,000, 1 million followers. If I like something, I'm going to repost it. You're not going to have to pay me for that. Like, some people are weird. Some people want to monetize absolutely everything they do. But I think that money comes back to you in several different forms. I've been the beneficiary of people's free, gratuitous help, and I want to give it back.
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of people, their perception is everything. People don't want to seem thirsty. I don't want to seem like they're sweating you, but like, yo, why you keep posting John's stuff, his platform and all that? Like, a lot of people,
especially amongst men too.
Yeah,
men really do suffer from
even
that.
Women too. I know some women are like, oh, I don't want to seem thirsty by posting. I'm like,
because you're supporting my platform.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and that's the reason that goes by to like why the success needs to be quiet, because, or it is quiet oftentimes because you don't have that round of applause. It's only when we blow up, and like, I'm putting it out there, if we ever get as big as some of these other like huge platforms, it's only then that it's gonna be cool to be like, oh, look at what they say. I mean, you mean the same message I said in season 1? I guarantee you this. I'm gonna put this out here. I can go ahead and repeat this episode now when we're like relatively small versus when we have like 1.7 million followers, and people will re-tag, stitch, be like, look, he said he just dropping bars. He's dropping music bars. To it. He's dropping bars. I'm like, hold on, I said the same thing 10 years ago when nobody was messing with our stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not like nobody's messing with our stuff. I don't want to go ahead and say that. People do mess with our stuff. We have a nice little niche.
No, we got a nice
little niche community that we've been building, right? But at the end of the day, it's going to come over time. And I knew that from the start. I didn't think that I was going to get any overnight success doing this. That's not my intent. Like I said, like, I follow Ice Cube a lot. Ice Cube is like someone who I look to, I guess, is my like celebrity, like North Star when it comes to like businesses. And something he says, like, yo, if you're not willing to not make money off of something for like the first 5 years, you shouldn't get into it, which is true. Me doing like private equity transactions, sometimes you don't make money for the first 3 or 4 years. You're looking at that return 6, 7, 8, 9 years down the line.
Yeah.
Now you're going to recoup everything and then some then at that point, but do you have enough fortitude and enough resistance to be able to get that first 4 or 5 years of you pumping money into something where you're not getting little to any return?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's the reason why people quit before they get their success, because they want everything back like this. It doesn't really work like that.
How are you able to determine when are you drained? Like, what is that signal for you when you're like,
bow out?
I'm drained. Yeah, I'm drained. And this is a healthy way to kind of step away.
I mean, if it's no longer giving you any sort of like happiness, right, at all, you can be drained.
No, sometimes you could be in something and you're not happy at the moment. Because I think happiness comes and goes.
We're talking about business right now.
No, I'm talking about business as well.
Okay.
So you could be in a career that, I mean, I've been in my career, it's going to be 15 years now, something like that. Not every moment is happy.
But not every moment of a happy moment is happy either. It's a happy moment, right?
Yeah.
It's a happy moment. Are you talking about happy moment or a happy state of mind? Like, sometimes you could be doing something, like my job gives me a lot of satisfaction, my career, but I don't say it makes me happy. Like, it's not generally an easy career.
Yeah.
It's very draining. It's all encompassing. I'm surprised I'm even doing this while having that career. People call me crazy. Like, how you balancing? When you sleeping?
Yeah.
How you still have time for your family? How do you do this? So they get to the point where they you can come up, they're like hating on themselves because they're like, damn, this guy's doing it and I'm not. This guy's flying halfway across the world for a weekend and coming back. Like, what? How? This doesn't make any sense. Like, how? Like, why? Like, how is he doing it? Look, I'm blessed. I think my superpower is being able to like have this unlimited tap of energy. So like
somebody touch John.
testing some VEDs, human growth hormones, right? But like, no, on a serious note though, that's a hard question, bro. Because like, if you're getting, I know that anything I've gotten into for money, I've drained out quickly because the money wasn't coming in as quick, or I made as much money as I wanted to, and I drained out. The podcast 2 years in, with as much money as we pumped into this thing, if I had gotten into this for money, I would have been out already. I would have caught my losses last year, right? Like, I was like, oh, we good. I'm Gucci. Like, I'm good. Yeah. But that's not the reason why I'm doing this, right? I mean, at least that's not the primary reason why I'm doing this, right? Everybody wants to monetize a business. Let's be real here, right? But that's not the primary reason why I'm doing it. I think that when I've gotten drained doing this, I'll let you know, like, yo, Mike, I need a break from the editing. Or we need to switch something up.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'll give somebody a real world example. So we had an editor that we work with, great editor, but the guy was he couldn't think for himself.
Yeah.
Me and Mike had to feed him everything. On top of me and Mike having to rewatch the episode 2-3 times, we have to feed him everything, and he would still make mistakes. At least the new person we got now gives us something to work with. Something to work with as a base to just alleviate the 2-3 times that we have to watch an episode, which saves 2-3 times an hour. If you multiply that by 10 episodes, plus all the BS time that me and Mike have to talk about, that's like 100 hours right there, like 50 hours, right? Like,
you know what's the worst thing though? When you got to watch yourself 2-3 times, then you start being super critical.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, I hate how my voice sounds. Why I keep doing this? Why I keep doing that? Yes.
One thing I hate is the fidgeting with my leg, and I keep doing it. And I'm gonna stop doing it. And my therapist says, like, you have to stop doing that. And I know where it stems from, but that's not for this episode. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things that you just have to continuously just monitor yourself. Right. Yeah. Like that's why content creation burnout is a real thing. Like, imagine being a singular content creator doing a podcast by themselves, fully editing, like on some Beck stuff, like doing everything self-produced, self-edited, self-uploading, self-social media manager. You can't do everything on your own. It's impossible, bro. It's impossible. Like, that's why we need help. And that's like, yo, we need to get help. We need to build a team.
Yeah.
And because without the team, you are only as strong as your weakest part.
Yeah.
Right. So to the extent that I don't want to do something, or like you're in town, so I'll pick up some of the things right here, and then like whatever, you need to give and go. But we always have to be like a thermometer for each other as a checking point to be like, are we burning out from doing this?
Yeah.
Because we have other things that we're doing. This is not just it. Like, not just flying, dealing with our, with our significant others, family members, personal obligations, whatever it may be. You need to make time for yourself. There's sometimes them days I don't want to talk to anybody, and I'm like, damn, I'm gonna pick up this call from Mike. And not that I don't want to talk to you, but I'm like, yeah, this is the one day that I have to myself. You feel me? So
exactly. That's important.
Yeah. So it's just like one of those things. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Sometimes that's a hard question to ask, because if you have happiness as your barometer, you're not always happy. So does that mean you're going to drop out, right? Like, of what you're doing? Do you run out of money doing it? Are you going broke because of it? Like, there's so many factors, right? Yeah. I mean, it's a tough thing. Like, what about you, man? Like, how do you check yourself?
For me, man, it's more so, I guess if I have a constant feeling of I'm just not happy doing something, then I know it's time. But before I kind of like give up, I gotta make sure like I gave him all,
Yeah.
I gotta make sure I gave him all.
Yeah.
Because at least then I'm like, all right, I'm happy. I like the phrase, leave it all on the court.
Yeah.
Because once I do that, then I could walk away like, I gave it all I had. Like,
Yeah.
Ain't nothing left in the tank.
Ain't nothing. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, right? And,
yeah. And you got to be honest with yourself.
Yeah, you do. And do you think that, like, I think a lot of people want to look, I think when people go long periods of time without external validation, they burn out of something. Like, damn, I want somebody to tell me I'm doing a good job. It's like almost a kid in school who got a good grade. They want their parents to tell them like, hey, you're doing a good job, to keep them going for the next good grade.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what I've learned is that if you wait for that external validation rather than giving yourself the internal validation that you absolutely need to keep going, then you're going to be screwed, right? Like you need to be your own validation source. You need to be your own supporting system. And yes, it does feel good when we have people tell us, you're doing such an amazing job, John, Mike, keep this positive platform going. We love to see more stories. Like, you're the good side of the internet. Like, all the stuff that people tell us, that's all great. But me and Mike have to believe, yo, this is what we like doing. This is what we want to do. We think this is a platform that can get bigger and that can go to other places and to like highlight the stories of people all around the world that you may not even heard of that's doing so many great things. We have to believe in that. And if we don't believe in that, then we're going to burn out. There won't be a season 5 and we'll pack everything up, dissolve the company, and there they go. He goes his way, I go my way, and that's it. And Mike will still make travel content, though.
Always gonna do that.
Yeah, no, exactly, man. And I think as you know, we're closing out this episode, and kind of like the last segment is, don't wait for a moment to tell that you've made it, right? And you have to learn to identify the feeling and honor it when it arrives. And that's hard because you have to know what winning feels like to you first, so that you can memorize that feeling and be like, all right, when I have this feeling again, I know that I've done something good, right? And I think that people kind of are programmed to focus in on the bad moments. Oh my God, this episode flopped. Oh my God, nobody liked this content. Oh my God, look at this other person who's doing the same exact thing as I'm doing. They're blowing it up, not.
Or one bad comment out of 10.
Oh my God, we've gotten that already. I'm like, I don't care about that. I laugh at it sometimes. I'm like, user 1737443 out of like somewhere in the middle in Central Asia is telling me something bad. Oh, okay, no problem. You still gotta live there. Shout out to my people in Central Asia though. So I'm just kidding. So I'm just saying, like, you know, like those are not the things that. That's not something that should be bringing you down. I take more personally if it's someone that I knew telling me something bad.
Yeah.
Not like bad, but like for example, like, yo, John's mic is messed up in the season 2. All right, we should probably fix that. Right? Like, right?
Yeah.
But we should probably fix that. But what I'm trying to say is that you don't need to have that viral moment to feel accomplished. You continuing on to the next day. And again, it's not just getting to the next day, because I hate when people are like, oh, you just need to get to the next day. You need to get to the next day and have a plan and a purpose for why you're going to do towards that next day to get to your ultimate goal. Right? And if you're not doing that, then I do not know how someone's going to stay motivated for long periods of time. You're just not, right? But just relating it back to the platform and this podcast, this season was incredibly difficult. It was the most difficult of all the 4 seasons. And there was plenty of times where I was just like, wow, nothing's going our way. And had I had focused on season 4 being the most difficult season and not saying like, damn, we got to a season 4.
Yeah.
I would probably have been like, damn, like we need to have a conversation. Like, right? Yeah. But it never crossed my mind because I kept focusing to myself, like, this was going to happen. We just didn't know when it was going to happen. Bumps will happen. Obstacles will happen. Distractions will happen. It's not going to be always pretty. Maybe season 5 is the breakthrough. Maybe season 6 is going to be the breakthrough. But if we don't get there, or there's no gradual, I guess for us, our gradual barometer is the types of people that are coming on and commenting on this. Like, we're seeing gradual growth from that perspective. Yeah, if you're not seeing any growth, then you need to sit down with yourself and be like, why are we not growing in the direction that we want to?
I think we grew a lot by how we handled the challenges and all that, even early on, as far as, you know, doing the live episode and things like that, having to adapt, you know, what we were going to talk about there, from even mic issues to filming 2 episodes back to back in different locations and doing that run. I think those are the wins that we need to celebrate that no one sees, and we're not going to get applauded for that because no one knows. It's just going to show up as an edited version week to week. But I challenge our audience too, you know, celebrate a win that no one sees, you know, and I think define who you want to be when no one's looking.
I like that one. You got to be like, who do you want to be when no one's looking? I like that because everybody wants to look pretty for the camera.
Yeah.
Right. And you know what I've noticed, like kind of me being back in New York, and not to like extend this any further than it needs to, but like since I've been back in New York, I've realized that so many people are empty, but they want to appear full. Right. They want to appear like half glass full, but a lot of people are like super half glass empty because they have no substance behind the words that they're saying, nor do they have any direction of where they're going. And I find it so blessed, like to be blessed to be like, I actually have a career that I love pursuing. And I also have this side project that I love pursuing. Let me tell you about this. And I have all these other hobbies and passions, and people are just like, I'm just kind of like going with the motions while I'm here in the city.
Yeah.
Go to Soho House on a Thursday, see what's up. But like, I'm just like, okay, like what else are you passionate about? Because what you're passionate about tells you a lot about yourself.
Yeah.
And then when you ask a person like, what's something interesting that you've been working on lately? You'd be surprised how many people can't answer that question because they're not working on anything they're actually genuinely excited on. They're working on somebody else's projects.
Yeah.
They're working for somebody else to make them money. But when you ask them, what are you doing for you that's exciting to you? They don't have an answer for it.
No.
So I think success is just having something that you're excited about, right? Just as a baseline.
Yeah.
And with that, Mike, why you don't tell the people where they can find this, man?
Last Flight Out Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Also we got our theme music on Apple Music. So check that out. And on Spotify. Stream that as well. So we're artists now.
Help us out. We're artists. You can find me at JLaReal26 across all my social media accounts. And you can follow Mike at
If Mike was here.
Man, good episode.
Peace.
Let's flat out. Big teams, big boys, eh? My highs and lows inherit growth, Mr. Deeds. Went from juggling 3 jobs to CEO like I'm Steve. Never been a rotten apple, call me John Appleseed. That's how I bleed. God can see no other man can judge me. Call him Mike, Mr. International, getting cream. Say no more